Hi, and welcome to another series of the Balanced Body Podcasts. My name is Nico Gonzalez from Cincinnati, Ohio, and with me today is Beth, who will be demonstrating some of the exercises on the Allegro Reformer. Today's topic is heavy resistance versus light resistance, and which ones do we use? So many times when I'm doing trainings with new Pilates professionals, they always ask, should I use the light springs or should I use the heavy springs? And they always give me an example of where they work, and it's either the extreme of heavy or light. And I say, yes, you have to find the right spring for your client or your particular exercise. There's no right or wrong, as long as it's done safely and effectively. So, what we're going to do with Beth is have her lie down supine, and we'll show some basic footwork. For example, if Beth was new to me and she said that she came from a studio that tended to use heavy springs for footwork, I would say, great, welcome Beth, welcome to Nico's Reformer. And I would say, well, go ahead and use your heavy springs, okay? And I'm going to monitor your form and see how things go from there, okay? A little compromise, you know. So the first thing we're going to do is bring your knees together and your feet together. You're on the balls of the feet, okay? I want to make sure she's in perfect alignment, okay? And now, Beth, I would like you to scoot slightly away from your shoulder pads so I can take a little finger and have a little space, okay? And I like to do this for new clients that tend to come from somewhere else and use heavier springs, just so I know they're not going to be sliding back and forth and they're not using the shoulder pads as a crutch. Okay? So once we've found our pelvic floor and we've found our neutral position, let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, lengthen your legs all the way out. Okay, good. And then come back in. So now Beth is that client that has lots of springs on. So press out. Okay, and now if you notice, her shoulders tend to shrug up and come back in, and they're closer to the shoulder pad. So the first thing I'm going to do is give her a cue and say, lengthen your neck and reach your hands towards the edge of the foot bar. Now exhale and lengthen all the way out. If the cue corrected the problem, perfect. I will let her stay on these springs. If it did not, and if I see, go ahead and press away, if I see more space encountered under her lower back, okay, come back in. I may cue her, and if the cue does not correct, I might say, Beth, I want you to have the most effective session today. So I'm going to take some spring away so you can master the exercise in perfect form, and then you'll get better results. How's that sound? Of course, Beth was like, yes, let's do that. So lighten up. We'll take another inhale. Exhale, lengthen your legs out and in. Okay? And if that does correct the problem, great. If it doesn't, then we may have to go back to do some other apparatus work to correct the problem. It may not necessarily be the actual spring. Okay? Lengthen all the way out one more time. Hold. Lower your heels under the bar to stretch and lengthen. I'll also look especially here if they have heavy springs to make sure nothing changes. Okay? And then bend your knees and return. Nice. Now, the reverse can also happen, meaning a client can come into the studio and say that they are used to using a very light spring, and all of a sudden one of my trainers or myself might put a little bit more than what they're used to. Okay? And I'll do the exact same thing. I'll say, Beth, great, show me what you normally do at wherever you came from. Okay? So slowly lengthen out. Let's do some footwork. Pretend that she had a very light spring on. Okay? And come back in. Okay? If I feel she's not giving me the effort that she can potentially do, I might say, Beth, let's challenge your abdominals exponentially today by adding maybe a little bit more spring, and tell me how that is. I want to keep the doors of communication open between myself and my client, right? Because it's not about me or my theories or my style. It is definitely about her and what her goals are. Okay? So lengthen all the way out. Okay? And if I added a spring, I'll say, how does that feel? Okay? If there is some discomfort, okay, I will definitely change. Bend your knees and return. Perfect. Excellent. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of insight into the heavy versus the light resistance in Pilates. Thank you, and see you next time.